going on, everybody? David Mitchell here, and my lovely fiance, Belle. How are you? With Voice of Autism, episode 161. And today, me and my lovely fiance, Belle, are going to be talking about our experience with school and being students.
I was a little bit hesitant to be part of the live stream because, I was a little bit overwhelmed this week. But yeah.
And we both were overwhelmed this week because how busy it was.
Yep. And what do you specifically what want to share? Education for in our special school and also for mainstream school, right? As a student in a special school and a mainstream school. So sorry to jumble everything tonight because tonight is really a stressful night. And it's where we ain't playing politics here, but election night is just special and challenging and emotional.
Yep.
Letter E is the letter of the day, actually. Education, election. So, to give you guys a special background on what education is about, let me give you a little bit of background about education. So, what is education? So, okay. So, if you guys any comments, if you have your own words, you can type it down to the chat box. And of course, we still have house rules. House rules.
No rude comments. No bullying comments.
And being character. You are in front of the people. I got inspired by Joe Biden at this point that there's a time for everything and there is a season for every situation. And so first and foremost, let me give y'all a definition of education. So again, the house rules here is no rude comments, no hate comments, no bullying comments, no comments about stupidity. That will not be tolerated. So if y'all have any comments, any questions, so please feel free to do it. We have the chance. So so today, like we all said, I'm sorry to make this complicated tonight. We would rather be more complicated than to be very, 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 very stupid. That's what I learned this week too. All right, so let's start. So I'll be very serious right now because I feel overwhelmed tonight.
So you with me because I got off of work about 2 hours ago, and today was a rough day at work. I kind of hurt my shoulder right here. It don't hurt now, but it was in serious pain earlier. Isn't that right, babe?
Yep.
And it was tight.
Yeah, my mind was very tight tonight because there's some things are getting into my nerves, but so by the way, let's start with the definition of education. The short definition of education meaning the process of receiving or giving systematic instruction, especially at a school or university. So growing up, we are all educated in our special abilities, or if not special abilities, we started to learn some basics like basic communication skills, basic words, basic greetings, basic behavioral etiquette. But of course, that education helps us to be more independent, and that helps us develop our thick skin. So growing up, in my experience, I don't have any idea what education is until I realized I experienced the the value of education.
I forgot about what it was too. Sorry, babe.
No, you're good. But anyway, steady.
Yeah, study, that's true. Now, me and Val, we do educating. Like, I do journalism classes with our part journalism therapy group. Like, it mid conflict, and it only happened on Thursday with the Autism New Network. Like, it's a journalism program where they teach you how to communicate and how to do journalism and stuff. And it's a social group too.
Mm-hmm.
And also, once we get enough recognition, they'll start paying that, meaning I'll be getting paid for journalism, like in the video editing area and in interviewing. But before that, I used to go to West Ashley High School. I've been to 3 elementary school and 1 middle school. Same with 1 high school. And I'm just going to say this, education for me was rough through my childhood because I did have a rough childhood. Like, when they first diagnosed me on autism spectrum, they had me mentally retarded, unable to learn. Well, I don't think of it as that anymore. I go with Asperger or autistic now. But when I was younger, they put me in special need classes, like first year at school, like with elementary school, were pretty rough for me. And at Angel Oak, at the first elementary school I went to, first day of elementary school or first day of school ever, they break me up for special needs. It was dirty a motherfucker. Sorry for my language. And there was a beer bottle out there. I decided to pick it up and throw it away because I knew what recycling was, even at that age. And when I picked it up, it exploded in my hand. I was not able to use my hand for about a month. But man, that was a bad day. And that school treated me like crap. Like, literally. Kids used to bully me, and they used to push me around. Teacher used to make fun of me. It was pretty bad. And then Firestone, at the second elementary school I went to, was even worse. Kids used to bully me there, set me up to get in trouble with what's up. Teacher used to use fear tactics on me, like I had a fear of being in the dark and I was scared of spiders. They used that against me. Like, it was just messed up. Like, any teacher but real quick, any teacher who have students who are autistic out there, if you use their fear to try to control them, like if they're scared of spider, bird, or dark, and you use that against them, then fuck you. You deserve to rot in a jail for that. Because one, you called PTSD. But for how I feel because of how I was treated. And it got better when I made it to my last year of elementary school when I was 10 years old with my Mount Zion Elementary. So improved there. Still got bullied. Kid punched me in my crotch, caused me to pee while I was sitting down on the computer and embarrassed me in front of the class. Now that was not as bad as what happened way before that. Just got better. Middle school was a mix between good and rough. I was the principal's pet, and it was crazy. Now, there was one kid that made it a mix because they thought it would have been funny to push me down in a ditch with it called powder cement. Got all my hands, and I got a chemical burn from that. But Middle school was a mixture between good and rough. High school was a mixture between trying to be pop words up like I was going through that teen phase and trying to act like a cool kid. It kind of fizzled out when I was in my last year of high school. Like my last year of high school, I said I didn't want to get the year fucking done and get the hell out of here. That's how I felt about my last year of high school. I went to West Ashley High. School was good back then, but it got totally a shitstorm now. But high school was a mix, like a mixed bag between good and bad, and the ugly, and sometimes the weirdness. But yeah, but then I did folk rehab job training, and now I'm doing the Autism New Network. With I'm using that to get my voice out there. But school can be rough for autistic people. Now, you want to say about your?
Alright, so it's kind of a breathless experience that I would like to share because I was in the Philippines when at time that I studied for school. Um way back, I'm gonna say it again. Wasn't able one of the first live streams that I'm be parting of here, the Voice of Autism. I said it partially, but I'm gonna say it in a full way, in a full detail. So way back when my childhood goes complicated because I am not that talkable. I'm not that sociable because I was used to be isolated even if I have siblings. So that's a side note. So when I was in kinder, I started my dual tasking of attending a mainstream school and a special school. So I attended this mainstream school when I was in kindergarten called Inner Worlds Club of the Philippines, where I was kinder 1 and kinder 2. And I spent some time at the Makati Public Elementary School. So uh, when I was in those school, um, I was being silently being bullied by vandalizing my workbook during our book activity that we have to color everything, have to color some of the specific item on the book, and they ended up vandalizing my book, and and I even ended up like I'm just being speechless. I wasn't able to express myself then because my mental delay at the time was like a toddler. So I'm kinder 1, I'm 7 years old, standing at 7 years old, but I wasn't able to talk that much like what I'm doing, like what I did right now. I just say I was a nonverbal autistic at that time. So if you'll ask me what was my diagnosis, so I was diagnosed as mild behavioral disorder at the age of 3, and I was re-diagnosed autistic at the age of 5, and I was re-diagnosed as having Asperger at the age of 17. So here's the twist of my experience in the mainstream school. I was known to have a lot of breakdowns and meltdowns because I was used to I don't have literally any close friends in kindergarten. It's not my aim to be friends with people, with classmates, but in my kinder years, I ended up winning best in English because of my ability to speak English, even if I'm in the Philippines. It is my first language before I get along with other languages. So at the age of 6, like what the age of 6, okay, at the age of 7, I'm in kindergarten. I ended up having best in English, and going to special school was another environment where I have this applied behavioral analysis, but it gave me the chance to discover the discover real world, you know. And of course, it really helped me mold my character during my time in special school. Like the same in the mainstream school, they helped me mold my character there in both schools. But of course, it gave me a little bit of freedom to express my feelings and get my voice heard. So what I do is, like, I always speak English. I always speak English as a medium of instruction and communication, except when their assignments are in Filipino. Because yeah, I didn't only have a subjects that is within the special school, but I have subjects for the from the mainstream school that I did assignments that is from a mainstream school. I brought it to the special school for help. And that I've never been into singing that much. I never been a singer. I never had an intention to be a singer until in the special school. I got into theater every year, each year of December of each year, 2001 to 2006, which is very special to me, which is a playground for me, my launch pad to explore my God-given talent. But um, being in a special school got me experience to profess my love for the arts, which is the craft arts and crafts, to be very specific. And that ended up collecting also papers, like stationery papers, decorated papers, and sometimes I collected magazines, like fashion magazines, and I ended up doing arts and crafts every session that I've been attended. And that ended up having good friendship with other people with autism. So if you'll ask me what special school that I've attended to, which is behavioral management for autistic children, which is just 15 minutes from my place in Makati to San Lorenzo in so also Makati, but actually behavioral management for autistic children school is in a condominium. So it is in Makati Cinema Square condominium at that time until in the bankruptcy in 2006. So this director of BMAC, who happened to be my godmother, who just recently passed away for 6 years, actually in 2012, which is 8 years now, which is whose name's Shanti Kilduff, and she has a daughter and a son. She has a son who has autism, and I became very motivated when this um Miss Shanta Kilduff guided me throughout the journey of my BMAC years now as a student. So now going to transition to not really transitioning, but I continued my mainstream studies in St. Mary's Academy of Santa Ana, Manila, where I became classmates with my twin brother. So it was a little bit of to be honest, and I'll be honest, it was a little bit of um complicated there, because, and I'll be honest with that, there are times that I really want to depend on with my brother, but sometimes I really want to do it myself. And we've been inseparably classmates until high school. And during my time in grade 3, I was mentally bullied because they don't understand that I have autism, especially in this first grade, that the school almost kicked me out because I was not good in communicating with the admissions very well. But the principal and my mom had a lot of conversations to accept me in their school and understand autism. And finally, I got admitted to that school. and I have complicated plans to transfer other school, and would even send a letter to Miss Shanti Kilduff that I'll be brought here in the US or in Canada to continue to further my studies in kindergarten, in grade school, first grade. Since in the Philippines at my time they don't have middle school either, or they call it K-12. But going back to my experience in my grade school and high school experience with the mainstream school, I was bullied mentally and physically by my classmates, and that's the time I continued my singing thing and singing talent, in which I don't feel it's gonna be my long time career. And at that time when I was in grade two, we have this show and tell called what is your dream in life. I mean, yeah, it's one of my favorite activity there, which is it's very special to me to share my aspiration. And my first aspiration is to become a photographer, which is in the second grade. Like I want to become a photographer. Yeah, that's a side note. So going back, that I was being bullied mentally and verbally because of me being autistic, and that's that. If you'll ask me what specific reasons, start to repeat and repeat because of me too much complications that's going on in my head. It was an emotional stress for me that I was being bullied without even like like because they don't understand what autism is, they don't understand what autism is about. But I just decided to cry it out. And there are times that I was being accused of something bad. I was falsely accused of doing something bad that I myself didn't do. But they claimed that it was me who's doing this stuff, and like dad's doing bad things, that and that and that.
The same thing happened to me when I went elementary school. Like students used to do to me. Like now in high school they tried but backfired. But it was very horrible for me and Val when we were in elementary school.
And I also wanted to say that sorry, and it was complicated yet overwhelming at the same time, in which my parents doesn't know what really happened to me when I was in mainstream school. Actually, the mainstream school that I've been to was a Catholic school, and I know it was a Catholic school, but to me, my resolution, my takeaway from that is they really need to learn about disability like autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and that will help solve the problem of misunderstanding and no ID and lacking of knowledge. So with that, learning about disability will increase their understanding about autism, for example.
Mhm.
So going back to my experience, when I was grade four, I was even a fault finder. I was even given, sorry for my grammar, I was being claimed as someone who does this bad thing. Yes, I have. Of course, kids be like, it's really kind of normal for someone like a kid, like a fourth grade me, like a fourth grader version of me that would rebel. Yes, I honestly rebelled, like vandalizing CR doors, and just to that's my way of bursting out my anger on someone because this person is very mean to me. This person is very rude to me, and like it's kind of like gangster does, like vandalizing names, making a protest in that bathroom doors. Yes, and I admit that it was my fault. Yes, because it's really a rough for someone like me who has autism who doesn't understand, and that's a reason. That's one of the reasons why I did that, because I wanted to be more respected and wanted to be more accepted, and that's that. and it juggling going back to fast forward to my to sixth grade. Yes, I graduated in elementary, but hopefully I have other plans that I cannot say to my parents at that time. I really really want to go to abroad to pursue my studies abroad and to be with my auntie from my father's side, but it didn't happen. So it was in grade 7 that bullying continues. Good thing it was a blessing that they didn't bully me physically, but they bullied me verbally by backfiring me behind my back. They talked behind my back, and I didn't have the power to speak up at that time, but singing was the only way to speak up my voice about autism, and it was really a challenging for me. I'm still classmates with my twin brother. Yep. And it was really embarrassing for me because I don't know how to speak up. I didn't know how to grow up. And yes, I was having a heart of a child still. I'm a high school student at that time, but my mind looks like an elementary school student. So it was in grade 8 that continued me being the talk of the town until in my grade 9 that I developed to speak up since I was also performing for an autism organization to sing, and I was also mistreated there in my autism organization. So it was both a juggling, both a heartbreaking situation. How will I deal with this? So I don't know how to deal with that. So I want to cry it out to my mom, cry it out to someone, but I wasn't able to speak up my true emotions about how I feel in in the mainstream school. But good thing I never stopped studying. I never stopped pursuing my dream to finish high school. And it was in grade 10 that I realized that I can speak up from my mind, that I have a straightforward talk to my classmates the months before we graduate while we're practicing graduation song. So this is, if you'll ask me, what did I said to them? I said to them this. This is in Tagalog, but I'm gonna say it in Tagalog, but I'm translating it to you. Ito bang natutunan nyo sa magulang nyo? Which is, in translating in English, is I will translate this in English. Is this what you learned from your parents? If they ask me in secret, about what? About being rebellious, about being pathetic to yourselves? Yeah. And that, I didn't realize that my classmates got speechless of someone like me being autistic and being being a talented singer that they know can speak up, and that motivated me to straight up and grow up and continue being forward, being a frontliner to people with autism.
Mhm.
And there's this negative experience that I've experienced for myself when I was in high school. It made me develop a lot of insecurities when I didn't get the first honors. I've never been a principal's pet, but I really aim to be in the honor circle. But to me, seeing my classmates who are way better than me, way smarter than me, and especially there's this classmate of mine who has also autism. Um, they even compared this guy with autism, who's much better and intelligent than myself, who is just being told that I would be singing in the streets. I'll be singing without a pay, and I will not. I'm being told also that you will not be successful, Vel. And when I graduated high school, and that's the school year that I graduated, this the last school year before I graduated, I ended up being a president of a music organization for high school students, where my voice was heard in spite by dealing with autism. And that gave me a wake up call that I would deal with people who would misunderstood me for being different. And I'm proud that all of this made me grow up and made me to be the best version of myself. And this continues to college. I didn't know what courses to take, and my first choice was international relations, meaning that you'll be studying diplomacy and your goal is to be a delegate for United Nations. And my second choice was mass communication, which is you aspire to be a news journalist or broadcaster. And the third choice is music, in which my guidance counselor discovered my ability in music. And I was so hesitant about it. I tried a lot. I applied to every schools that I've been given an invitation to take an exam, but there is one school that my mom chooses, and it was the current school in which I'm in for more than 7 years. So with that, I was auditioned and I was accepted and I was admitted to the music department, which I've shifted 3 times. So I shifted from bachelor's to diploma and now to certification. So during my experience in college, I rapidly developed my insecurities, in which was really almost to the point that I became anxious, and also it made me more anxious dealing with people in the music department, and I was so shy talking to them. And there some people would even make false news on me and would even point fingers at me just because for being autistic. And there's this moment that I almost wanted to cry out loud, and why is this happening to me so much? But why is this happening to me so much in my mind? Why is this happening to me so much? And why is this happening to me? Why am I ended up being trash talked and being treated like crap? And at that time, I don't have any companions to talk to. So I really decided in college, I really want to have a boyfriend in college. But my mom didn't want it to do it. So I put my heart and my passion into my studies and to my singing gigs. But I mostly put my time to music studies, in which there are ups and downs. I failed a lot. I failed mostly a music subject, and I tried to retake it again, and I passed. And I spent my gap year. So I have my first gap year, in which I before my gap year began, I am a scholar when I was second year and third year. I am a scholar of a foundation in Ermita, Manila, because I am one of the soloists of the Philharmonic Choir. And what I only did for in order to be given a benefit is to attend their church. And that's the time that I converted from Catholicism to Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that was when I converted you too.
No, baby.
Or when did you convert it?
I converted in 2014.
That was 2 years before me and you met.
So I know, yeah, that's the time that before you and me met, and okay. But that's the time I also in 2013 I developed my phobia in talking to many boys, especially even if only unless these guys are talking to me in my college and church and my dad or my brother, but beyond that I can't talk to other men. I feel uncomfortable talking with men because I was almost suffocated with their wirings. That's a metaphor. You know what I mean? That's a metaphor. Now I'm developing making metaphors right now. So with that, I experienced another failure from to the music subject that ended up ending my scholarship after one school year. So when I was the second year, I even Actually, it's not my second year, but it's on my third year. I'm sorry. That second year, that's the time they introduced me to this Philharmonic choir, and the third year, they introduced me to scholarship, and I failed to the second semester. And I got to the point that I really, um, I'm sorry, it's complicated, but if I guess you remember, um, third year is really challenging for me because it was a lot of challenges. It was a continuation of misunderstanding about autism in college, in which when I step into the college, I really want to leave a legacy by promoting autism awareness in mind when I graduated in this college. And the fourth year, but before fourth year, I spent my gap year by joining Miss Possibilities. If y'all ask me, why did you stop schooling, Vel? First and foremost, I lost a scholarship. My siblings were studying in that year in 2015. And number two, um, I really want to look for a scholarship. But I decided to showcase my talents and my advocacy by joining Miss Possibilities 2015, where I didn't win. I only won Miss Congeniality at the time. And in 2016, I visited Canada for ANCA when I got performing arts, and I was an ANCA ambassador when I launched my motivational speaking career there. And also, I came to visit US for the first time in where I visited my auntie in Montebello, California in 2016, in October of 2016.
It's the same month me and you started talking.
Yup. And then in 2017, that's the time I developed of my interest to get back to schooling. But this time I received a that's the time you and I met, and I told you everything about my aspirations to go back to school. Because I really, really valued education. Even my mom and I thought about it like crazy. And she said, hey, when all of your siblings are graduated, but I've been waited for that for about a year, for like, they're all graduated, but what about me? Since my mom cannot able to afford the tuition fee that is needed for my schooling, I wrote a letter from this to this church, which is the church I've been serving for 4 years since 2015. Yep. And the pastor who recommended to me to the Mission of Benevolence, I wrote to them the letter that I'll be needing a financial assistance to finish and to further my schooling in college. So I've been waiting for a month, and the council has been approved my letter in the mid of 2017, where there's another blessing that I've won community achievement in ANCA. And that's a double blessing already. So that time that I was really, really focused on my studies, in which my mom didn't know that I am a scholar again for the second time. I got a scholarship award because I've been involved in the choir for 4 years. That's a way of a love gift to me, um, due to my contributions to the church and to the choir. And I fell in love about that kind of gift that they given to me after all the effort that I did and I've been putting into it. I'm hopeful to continue my bachelor's program after the certification. And it was in 2018 that 2017 to 2018, the school year, I get back. And I want to speak up about autism. And I said, there's this hypothetical question from the president of the college with this question during the PASCO accreditation week, the practicum for the PASCO accreditation. And it's just like here, you are applying for green card when you get married. They said this. The president of the college said this. They asked us a question. Are you being empowered by your professors? Yes. And my answer is yes, because my professors are the ones who will look into us and will teach us the right directions and will turn the right from wrong, because at the end of the day professors will be there for us to empower us and to inspire us to be the advocates that we want to be. And if I could still remember that, and I wasn't able to remember that like a record breaking, but that question was a record breaking question anyway. And that resulted in me and my mom arguing over about why don't I go here in the US to visit you, until in 2019 I got my recital, and finally I fight for the right to have my recital first before I got here in the US for the second time. But that literally broke my heart, because I was in the tail of my certification program, in which my conductor was also supportive of me finishing my studies. But it's just my mom who just broke my heart, and she didn't know how hard it is to write a scholarship letter and ask a scholarship financial assistance, because I wasn't also working. I was not a working student either. I didn't have any jobs. I didn't have enough stable income. I didn't have enough financial stability. So it's really hard for me to afford to pay for my college fees. So with that, if you'll ask me how do I feel when I put my studies on hold again, it was um 2018 and 2019. Yep, I've done my studies school year that time. 2019, 2020 first sem, that's the last semester that I've been enrolled to. That's the last semester that I've been enrolled for now. And I didn't enroll for the second sem because I have preparations to move here in America. And that gave me a lot of heartbreak, more than a heartbreak relationship with people, because school to me is like a commitment to honestly to learn and to broaden my opportunity. And my takeaway for that is I should have finished my certificate program, and hopefully if I got the chance to get back schooling or schooling online, which is now in pandemic online.
Well, the cove.
Yep.
The cove. And also, I did promise you when we get married, I will help her get schooling here in the U.S. like to do her college here.
Because yeah, it's gonna be for me. It's gonna be hard to apply college in the U.S. is because of my grades. It's because of my records that is in the Philippines, and I've been praying so much that I have a specific rules and goals. And one of the rules is that if I before I graduated, I would lose weight. I would lose weight. I would lose 3 stones, which is 30 kilograms of my weight here. And I would like to stay healthy mentally, physically, and especially both of us are gonna get married in the near future. That's one of our rules also as a married couple, a future married couple, that we would finish our college education together. And if y'all could ask me that, what are my plans after the certificate program in the Philippines? I would like to continue I'll be honest, I've had enough in music course, but this time I want to shift into other courses, which is special education and international relations. I would like to continue my college studies, this time on special education and international relations, this time here in the US. And hopefully I could have a financial support, and also if all is complete and we settle things very well, I would like to boost my productivity by continuing my studies online here in the US. the special education and international relations, and hopefully I really insist that I would like to finish them in a healthy manner, that that I am not gonna be anxious, I'm not gonna be drained and dead and freaked out. Yes, I'm almost freaked out at one point, but yeah, that's one of the rules. If I got a if I got into a bachelor's program, is to lose weight and to look good and to be more outspoken and to continue my singing talents, and of course to be spiritually strong in every aspects, since both of us are undergoing transition too, since both of us grew up, we are under the custody of our own family, so this time we want also to be more independent. So another goal that I would like to attain if I got into special education, I really want to get back to the autism community to teach people with autism, and even had music therapy. And also for the international relations, I would like to break history that I will one day be the first openly autistic being a delegate for the United Nations or even run for the Senate, because I got inspired by the two of my favorite senates. One is Jamie Harrison, who is a Senate candidate for South Carolina, and then Clay Aiken, who happens to be my favorite and my role model. He is an American Idol runner-up to Ruben Studdard, and he is also a Congress candidate for North Carolina. And that motivated me to pursue this international relations. And especially in the special education, that motivated me to be more practical and to be more independent by giving back to the autism community, by continuing my motivational speaking and getting that's the way of my getting my voice heard. And um and as a fiance, I would continue to kind of being more open to him. That'll be a transition to the next topic actually.
Yes.
But how about you? What are your goals and
Well,
rules?
my goals are I want to get my voice out there and make a big change for people, not just the community. Get that stigmatization and discrimination that happened to us out of here and make it much better for everybody, because what we go through is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And then
And to make a better future for everybody. Because autistic people, we go through a lot. Like, it's hard for us. Like, we get discriminated in school and everywhere. But we want to make a better future for everybody, which is the reason why I want to do journalism, for I can get my voice out there. And it's one of my new big goals and thing that I'm very good at. But yeah.
and that with the and like what I said, with those two courses that I would like to take next, which is the special education and international relations. Both of them are my dream courses that I would like to take, that I supposedly taken in the Philippines. But the reason why I want this both, because it was my childhood dream. It was a hidden childhood dream that I wish to do. And of course, we really want to have this was based on my lesson that I've learned when I was in Miss Possibilities. I may not be the Miss Possibilities title holder, the title holder itself, but I was Miss Congeniality and Miss Inspirational respectively. But it inspired me more to be the voice of everyone who are voiceless, and to also I would give also shout outs to those students and classmates who bullied me for being autistic. This is me. This is Velbaria, who stands in front of you, wishing you all the best. And I would like to do my job to be a role model for all of you. Even if I am not perfect, I am autistic, but being autistic doesn't make me feel ashamed, but it made me inspired to be to be the strongest version of myself, and of course, and to create more sustainable reasons that we could make a world a safer place, especially for people with autism.
Me too. Same with me. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream, and I hope everybody having a great weekend. And we'll talk to you guys later. And I hope everybody have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Can I eat ice cream now?